You might be shit posting about, Brian Thompson being murdered. You might be thirsting over Luigi Mangione. And a couple weeks later, you got Elizabeth Warren saying, quote, you can only push people so far. You've got Senator Chris Murphy saying, we need to overhaul the private healthcare system, right? Like, you have people on the inside feeling that it's safer. I mean, and again, how long have we deserved and needed single payer healthcare in this country? Oh my God. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, politically, it is safer to come out because of all the shit that we've been talking, because of all the stuff, because of the culture, So because of your Luigi memes, I'm not even joking here. I do think that helps run cover for like, look, there's some real anger and some real political will here. And there are people who will go to bat for you if you go to bat for them. And on this case, for universal healthcare. And maybe the last thing that I'm bitching about, I mean, it's just so funny. And a little bit of inside baseball for my life is that, back in 2019, when I had my special on MSNBC all about healthcare in the United States, because it's NBC, they really wanted to get someone from the healthcare industry to talk to us. And to, when I interviewed Bernie Sanders, I had to ask him, hey, what do you say to people who like their health insurance, right? What about the healthcare workers? These were all questions that, MSNBC producers had me ask him, because it's like, well, what about all the bureaucrats and the paper pushers who will be out of a job if there's only single payer healthcare? Well, first of all, and Bernie gave a great answer. He's like, you realize that if there is government run healthcare, it will need an infrastructure. And that infrastructure could absolutely come from some of the pre-existing, people, the professionals who are in this industry. They just won't be denying claims. They'll be accepting them. They just won't have to go home and take the mirrors down in their bathrooms and shit like that. Because they can, be proud to kiss their children in every night. But you think anyone from the healthcare industry talked to me? Of course they didn't. What did they do? They write op-eds. And over the weekend, the New York Times published an op-ed from UnitedHealthcare CEO, or big CEO, just the bigger guy, the UnitedHealthcare Group CEO, who was like, we know we need to change. We know we can do better. And there was a lot of Brian Thompson was a wonderful guy. He was good family, this and that. But it was a lot of we see you. It was very Succession. We here for you, right? As they're is trying to do all of this cleanup. Them being we understand the United States healthcare system is not perfect. We're just operating within it. We're just trying to make as much money as we possibly can within it. Obviously, they didn't say that part, but it is so funny. And it's we need to call them out on this bullshit. You can't run these op-eds. As the New York Times, you have to say, no. You can't have access to my op-ed page. You can sit down with one of our journalists and have an interview. You can have a back and forth, but they won't ever do that. They won't. Notice how we haven't seen this. It's been 3 weeks now? We have not seen a United Healthcare executive go on air with any major news outlet. That's not for lack of trying. It's for a reason. They do not want to have to answer the question about claim denial. They do not want to have to answer the question about the healthcare system overall. They do not want to say how much money they spend in stock buybacks. They don't want to say how much money they spend in lobbying. And they don't want to say how much money they make in a year, right? Because they know how awful it looks. And they know that you and I are struggling. So it's really important also, if we can't lobby them, you can sure as shit lobby the New York Times. You don't get to fucking run this op-ed. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.